gotta talk, alright?
What's up, y'all? If you're newer to NASCAR or just aren't familiar yet with all the different terms and phrases used by your friends or the broadcast, today we'll start with some of the more common terms and phrases used on a broadcast that are being used, and I'll try to help you get a feel for what your friends and the announcers are trying to convey to you when they use some of these terms during a race.
What's going on with the car?
Loose. A loose condition is when a car feels like the rear of the car is trying to slide or wiggle back and forth while making the corner. The driver must turn the wheel back and forth to catch the car, and the rear of the car would hit the wall first. Tight. A tight race car, or sometimes referred by drivers as plowing, is when the driver turns the wheel going into the corner and the front of the car doesn't turn as much as he would like. He most likely must use more brake and slow the car more to keep the car in the racing line or to simply make the corner. The front of the car would hit the wall first.
When the rear end's loose, car's fast. Loose is fast and on the edge of out of control.
Front end is won't turn, period. It's like I've got cookie sheets under the front tire.
Well, we're talking grip, we're talking tires, and since Guy Fieri wasn't available, here is our tire chef du jour, Larry McReynolds.
Well, Mike, you've heard Jamie and Regan talking about drivers saying, I feel like I'm just grinding the tires away. Remember, this surface at Atlanta Motor Speedway is 24 years old. Now, I don't have a cheese grater, but I still have my course file from a year ago, and what it's just like grinding on this tire. You can just see it the rubber just peels off. And that's what's happening every corner of every lap with those race tires at that Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's just grinding the rubber off that tire, and that's what those drivers are feeling. Same tire, same file from a year ago.
Larry, do you have any idea how many internet memes have been formed from you grinding on that tire?
Grip. This is how well the tires and car connect to the track and allow the drivers to maintain or not be able to maintain the highest possible speed on the track. This is most well seen in the corners with how much corner speed a car is able to carry. Tire fall off. As tires are used more and more, the material of rubber gets worn off and the tire itself will drastically heat up and cause them to get greasy and slick. These combined factors will make drivers have to greatly reduce their speeds and lap times, becoming longer as they continue to use the same tires. A long run. When racing conditions continue for an extended number of laps and the life of the tires and fuel are noticeably being used up, it leads to tire fall off. And comers and goers. With comers and goers, these are drivers that over the course of a run have kept better care of their tires and passed the cars that have not kept as good care of their tires.
Much bigger brakes on this Gen 7 car, later braking, down to pit road speed. Jamie.
And a nice countdown for William Byron as he makes his way down with all of his teammates. What a night they had last night, the power. It was a big night for Hendrick Motorsports. The 24 is in his box, his team over the wall. They've been practicing this for over a year. Nice work so far. Regan, we'll go to you.
Well, Chase Elliott with his race car right now just a little bit tight. Worried it might get tighter, so a small adjustment for that. And your leader, Kyle Larson, that race car good, other than when cars are pushing him.
Kaz Gralla pitted with the Chevrolet.
The pit stop. Races are long enough that every car needs to be refueled to continue racing. The fuel cell only holds so much gas and the tires can only last and perform for a certain amount of laps. After a fuel run, which is the length of laps a driver can go on the fuel tank, the driver must make a pit stop to change his tires and refuel. The 4-tire or 2-tire pit stop is where one side of the car is jacked up at a time to change the tire, so the team can choose to change all 4 tires or choose to make a 2-tire stop or a 4-tire stop. Banking. Racetracks have their tracks banked to improve the ability to maintain and improve the speed at which the drivers race. Banking is an angle of degrees of which the racing surface is sloped instead of being flat. Each track has a different level of banking to produce various styles of racing. Here you'll see one of NASCAR's flattest tracks of Martinsville, and here is one of NASCAR's highest bankings at Talladega.
21 laps complete. Here's today. Cars out from underneath that. Whoa! He got down to the apron.
A race weekend will consist of multiple sessions. A practice session is a session in which teams are able to get on the track to indeed practice. This allows the teams to determine if new setups or new car builds or different testing they are conducting is good or bad and have a chance to learn and adjust their cars, or for the drivers to adjust their driving or learn the track. Then qualifying is a session that determines the starting order for the race based on the fastest times by the drivers in that session. The fastest car is called the pole sitter.
Look how fast he gets to pit road. He should almost try that for his pit stop tomorrow. Look at that, right to the cone.
And it was cool to hear him say that. Like you said, he was weak.
As seen in this clip, Eric Almirola coming back up the track from the apron, he bottoms out, which is when part of the car drops down into and hits the track, upsetting the car in such a way that is difficult to control, and he spins out.
Hey, spotter, you heard him. Get me up there, find me a hole, because this bottom line is shrinking fast.
This is something we've seen a lot. As soon as guys to the top, it is a bigger sense of urgency to get to the top than it is to actually get to the bottom.
Well, it'll take teamwork. All right, so those guys all line up on the outside. How can a bottom line get going? Talked about it when they at the green flag. You got to find your allies, got to find your teammates, your manufacturers, all them boys, stack them up, work together, and push hard.
4 Fords at the front. Kyle Busch got up into line and brought Christopher Bell, Martin Truex with him.
Drag. This is the term for the air resistance that a car has to drive through at speed. In a group of cars, this produces the draft, as this is the effect when one or more cars are behind other cars that are punching a hole in the air and the trailing cars have less air resistance, meaning trailing cars can go faster, but this means less downforce on those trailing cars, which is referred to as dirty air. The draft is best seen on the super speedways, as seen here, whereas more cars lined up means less and less air resistance for more of those cars, making them go much faster than the line of cars with fewer cars. In this clip, watching the rear of the car, you'll see Chase Elliott driving down the backstretch of Fontana, which is extremely bumpy. Drivers refer to a track as being bumpy or rough when the track has divots in the track, making their cars act like they are bouncing as they drive. This is a very rough condition for the driver and can make the car very difficult to drive. Seams. Tracks are paved in sections. These sections will lead to the racing surface having thin lines through the track, and these spots in the sections of the track where tar fillings to fix cracks in the surface will be called seams. The groove. There are specific racing lines that most drivers will use to be the fastest they can be on the track. This particular line around the track will be called the groove. Getting outside of the groove can result in getting track debris or marbles on the driver's tires and limit grip. These marbles are small chunks of rubber that are pushed out towards the wall of the track.
Comes off there and gets to the racetrack. In my mind, anyway, I thought that car would have never know. Boy, look at a huge run that Gordon got off turn 2 right there.
You see that and you think, man, he must have about 50 more horsepower than the other guys, but it really is all about momentum. This is a momentum racetrack.
Restart zone. This is the section of the track that the leader of the race can re-begin racing action at the conclusion of a caution. Most tracks will have a painted line on the inside of the track and painted on the walls on the outside of the track, signifying where this section of the track is. Downforce. This is the general term for how well the air is pushing the race car down into the track. There is front downforce, rear downforce, side downforce. Front downforce is how well the air is going over the nose of the car and helping the car get through the corner. The nose is what the racing world will call the front of the car. Rear downforce is how well the air pushes the spoiler and rear of the car into the racetrack and helps stability of the car's cornering ability. Side force is air moving around and into the sides of the car while the car is going through the corner. Drivers will position their cars in such ways to reduce a competitor's side force, causing that car to be less stable. The apron. This is the section of the racetrack that is not the racing surface and is below or beside the white or yellow painted lines denoting the racing surface. This is traditionally a very slick surface, and running on the apron could cause you to wreck or damage your tires. Caution, or a yellow flag, means the track has been deemed unfit for continued racing, and officials throw a yellow flag to signify slowed and controlled speeds, and the field comes together, maintaining position behind the pace car behind the leader. Yellow flags can be caused from accidents, oil or other fluid on the racetrack, debris, rain, or a scheduled caution being a competition caution or a stage break caution. The pace car. This is a safety vehicle that before a race and during cautions paces the field at a specific speed according to the particular track. Green flag, a race starts or restarts. A white flag means 1 lap to go. A checkered flag is the conclusion of the race and the winner can begin his celebration.
Allmendinger up the racetrack. They make contact. 3 wide for the lead. 1 lap to go. Here comes Allgaier on the inside. They go up the racetrack. Allmendinger back in on the inside. He takes the lead. More contact behind him. The race will win through 3 and 4. Allmendinger, Cindric, side by side. Allmendinger wins it at the line.
If this was helpful to you learning or understanding more about NASCAR, then give a thumbs up on the video and comment what words, phrases, or aspects of the sport you would like me to dive into more detail for you on future videos. See y'all later.